What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Hannibal Callens.
And it is your boy, Giancarlo Alberti.
Zing. We've got something super special for you guys today. This right here is episode 10. And what better way to celebrate the big 1-0 than bringing on our first guest? That's right,
everybody
ladies
get
and gentlemen.
excited.
Oh, yeah. This is special for us, and we hope that it'll be special for you, too. All the way from the other side of the country. This man has traveled the world, but most importantly, he is one of our best friends. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the IT, the crypto, the Western cowboy. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Christopher Cammarata.
Woo! How's it going?
Go, 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 go.
As Chris just sits there waiting for you to do the show.
Eventually I'll say hello. And cut.
That's our time, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a wrap.
Thanks for having us. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us,
Got any social
everybody.
medias? We don't have time.
Don't find us, we'll find you.
Oh, man.
What is going on, Chris?
Chris.
I'm here,
Yes.
and so are you.
Wow, this brilliant.
Yo, man of few
Brilliant.
words, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, dropping beautiful cryptic knowledge, and we're not even 30 minutes in. Buckle.
Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. But how are you, Chris? What's going on, man?
Not much, just here. It's nice to be with you guys. It's always mostly a pleasure. I won't tell about the non-pleasure part.
Okay.
That was bad. I'm going to take that from the top.
That came out.
Let's start from the top.
Oh, boy.
From the
Okay.
diggity. Were you
You know, the
saying
problem is, like, I like have something in my head, and I just can't think of anything on the spot. I'm not, are we recording
that?
still?
Yeah, this is
Oh,
both.
yeah, we're
this
recording.
is recording.
Yeah, we're going to keep all that.
Really?
We're going to do our best. Ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Cammarata, the not pleasure part. That's just the name of the
not
episode so
pleasure
far.
part.
Better hope we come up with something funnier. 'Cause you better hope something else funny comes to this conversation, because right now that's winning.
No, it's good to be here. This is actually like the first time that I'm visiting home since COVID happened. Like,
Back from the Alamo.
kind of, I mean, Alamo adjacent in Houston. So, yeah, I mean, I moved to Houston mostly for work. I never thought I'd live in Texas, but somehow I've survived. I resent to being called a cowboy, but I'll forgive you.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, mostly just here. That's about it. Just
That's
here to
awesome,
spend
though.
time with good people.
Hey,
Dude, and it's always a delight when you come in town. So the funny thing is when they never told me that you were gonna come here. Well, at least Hannibal never did. So when these guys surprised me, that was awesome.
We were trying to Batman it up.
we were totally trying to Batman it up, and we were doing way too much.
Yeah, a lot more work than was probably ever necessary.
And you know
At
what
all.
the funny thing is? It's like it worked. You guys Batman it up.
yeah,
But
he had
it's
like this moment of surprise on his face.
But the funny thing is, it's like that wasn't what surprised me from Chris, because that's something Chris would definitely do.
No, but what happened really was like we jumped out. We clearly scared him because he had a brief look of shock on his face.
Yeah.
Followed instantly by, I forgot to call you.
It was so goofy because the way that we did it too, because Chris told me he was coming to town because I've got the moniker of best friend. So therefore, for tax reasons, I have to be informed. Like, Chris has been emergency contact on medical paperwork.
Contact.
Like, yeah, but Chris was like, all right, calling me as he's going through the airport in Houston. Talk about, okay, so here's what I'm thinking we're gonna do.
Dinosaurs, laser beams.
We're gonna have
Can we rent a
velociraptors.
helicopter?
Only reason we didn't is because it wasn't enough time. Like, we would have saved the money.
Really?
If we were
Yeah, I
able to-
think like given enough time and energy, we would have hustled.
Oh yeah, we would have totally had
That-
helicopter. We would have done a whole fake house robbery. You know, where then like dudes are like, everybody get on the ground. We're still on your
We
stuff.
also didn't have a good way to like eject the dinosaurs out of the helicopter.
That was the problem.
Yeah, because like the claws get caught in the parachute, and
Right.
it's messy.
And it's really difficult. It actually costs.
They all have really good insurance policies too.
surprising. However, the training of a velociraptor is super difficult. So you got to pay extra for the French ones that go through that all that stuff already.
They think they're better because they're vegan.
They even though because they're French velociraptors, they still smoke.
Right, between the claws. Like,
I don't know. I think that's dude.
So Chris, I've been wanting to ask you ever since they told me. I need you to tell me the story of your crypto journey with Dodge.
oh, really?
dude, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't, I would say, like this amazing, inspiring, swashbuckling pirate adventure. It was more just like that I had some spare change. I dropped it into Doge, and I was just like, let's see what happens. That led to us like having marathons where we would watch the line go up and down on the TV. I made a little bit of money. Then I lost a little bit of money. But like, I'm not like one of those people who's like, Doge going to the moon. But like,
Oh, I'm 100% that person.
yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like,
I would tattoo Dogecoin on me if I could.
all right, that's a problem.
That's not good.
That's not good.
Sir, you're not all right. No, but I think like
was a cry for help. Yeah.
I think like anytime you talk about like, I mean, stocks for sure, but then like crypto even more so. It's like my mindset is don't ever invest more than like you're willing to lose. And I think that's kind of what gets a lot of people because people like ever since GME, like people aren't really in stocks for the long haul. And I'm not saying this like I'm an expert. Like I learned as much as I could in a very short amount. This is me flipping through a book.
Right, right.
So as much as I could, pouring over the texts, you know, in a short amount of time. But like,
Ancient scriptures.
yeah. But like, I think personally, like, don't ever start with stocks or crypto when you invest. I think
Right.
like always do like the boring old savings account and the IRA and the 401k stuff. But then like I had spare change, so I just dropped it, and I was just like, hey, I made a little bit of money. So, you know, woohoo! Got myself an adult purchase, a Nintendo Switch. So that's been pretty nice. But that's about.
That's out of the switches out of the Dogecoin.
I mean,
Wait, was it? I didn't know that.
when
that
you
is
like balance
awesome.
when you balance the budget, I mean, basically, I would say.
So, Chris, I think that means that you legally that's not even technical win. You won. You made enough off
You
of
bought a
Doge.
Switch.
This man is totally downplaying how much he put into Doge and how much he made.
I can't tell you how much
So
I
this
actually
is what-
made.
This is what fascinates me about Chris and his stories is that he paints them so nonchalantly, but he's winning big time.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a man that I know who is better at flying on airlines than the dude right here.
What about airlines?
Because I remember one time you had bought a ticket, but what was it? The flight was
Oh yeah, that's right. I was like
Yeah.
trying to find the cheapest plane ticket in the
Right.
pre-quarantines,
Right.
like, and it was to Panama, and I got it for like what, $60?
that's what it was.
That was
60
insane.
Yeah.
When you told us about
It was like a
that.
round trip too.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my goodness. Like Chris, but it was fun.
Years of being cheap.
It finally paid off. I've mastered the art of cheap. Dude, because I still remember when you first bought Doge, you called me. We were talking about a bunch of other stuff. It was like, oh yeah, I got meme stonks. And then like a week later, Chris was like, oh yeah, Doge went up. Doge go, Doge go. And then next thing I know, I'm hearing people talk about how Elon Musk mentioned it, and then Doge shot up in value. And the whole time I was like, I ain't heard from Chris.
Hey buddy, How's it going there? You got anything good?
Once Doge started doing real good, boy. Well,
Should we look for him?
Dude.
No, he's in. I thought you bought the Alamo after Doge went
I thought
up.
you purchased. Yeah, I thought you at
thought
least
you
bought
bought
a
the
piece of
Alamo.
it.
Just the whole state of Texas.
Right.
They work for
It's
me
a
now.
it's a Crestus.
Crestus?
Trying to mix Texas and Chris.
Oh,
Crestus.
Crestus.
Crexus.
Cressus sounds like
Crexus.
a food. Okay, Crexus, if it's spelled with an X, sounds like an intergalactic like evil foundation or alliance. We are the Crexus.
Yeah, vaguely, like slightly, probably like xenophobic.
Oh yeah.
Conquers
And I
planets.
totally forgot. I'm so sorry, audience. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you give us a thumbs up. If you don't like our content, we'll
Figure that out.
figure that out.
We'll do nothing.
Figure that out. At this point, we're at episode 10 of this joint. We don't even.
Right. Look, we're
We
doing
got
things-
haters, we got lovers, and we got supporters. At this point, like, where's the sponsorships?
I mean, all we really need now are celebrity guests and.
I don't celebrate myself very much.
Which is exactly what a person who should be on as your celebrity
Should be
guest would say.
celebrated.
See, ladies and gentlemen, the lesson today is humility. Did y'all listen to how Chris didn't go on about how much he made off of Doge, but then just suspiciously mentioned that he got himself a Switch?
I mean, that was about it. It wasn't
was
like
about
it was
it,
like
yeah.
that much more.
It's not like he bought like health insurance.
No, I wasn't like a meme stonk millionaire or something like that.
God, man, I wish. Because as much as I love to get money like the honorable way, sometimes, man, I just really am waiting for somebody to do something so I can sue. Like, am I a bad person? Like, am I a bad person that I'm like, dude, I just want to sue somebody, get a bunch of money, and
What's
just,
your game plan?
honestly, I'm really hoping that somebody uses the N-word against me in a professional setting, you know, where I can tie it to the business itself.
Do we get cancellation insurance now?
Oh, I hope not, because if you can get cancellation insurance, I think that would stop me from getting money my way. Like, you know, if your company could be like, oh, no,
I'm cancel insured.
good luck trying to sue me saying that I'm a womanizer, you know, like. But you know what? Part of cancellation insurance is that the person who you buy the cancellation insurance from has to be a business of color owned by women, probably like some marginalized group of people.
Right.
Because if you get cancellation insurance from like a non-marginalized group of people, who cares? Like, what do they know about it? But it's like, oh yeah, our company is owned by a guy who's disabled, blind in one eye, and is LGBT. Like, now it's like, well, shoot, man, they went to the right business for
They
that.
got us.
You know,
So intersectional, you can't see the lines anymore.
I have surpassed intersectionality. I am all things.
I am the Omni section.
The Omni
It
section.
sounds like it's like in an alt-right superhero comic. It's like that's the villain. He's Omni section.
How will you defeat me now? I have
I
defeated
have the
you.
powers of every section.
I have the power of all sections, and I have defeated your Ben Shapiro.
You bitch. Right.
He's laid out in the ground smoking like Dragon Ball Z. Hypothetically, if I was going to get
No,
my
I'll just say hypothetically, there's like a violin playing.
Jordan Peterson, no, you're not strong enough to beat him. He get punched. Oh, that's a problem. Jordan, no.
The Omni section like just devours everything into one huge blob. Has the power. Has like the 6 infinity stones.
Right.
He has like the section stone, the gender stone. Like
Gender stone, race stone, ability stone, wealth stone.
and the
Wealth
poverty
stone.
stone,
Poverty
because
stone.
we can't
Yeah.
exclude anybody.
You can't exclude
He's
it.
the Omni section.
Then there's like 1,000 more stones. The age stone.
It looks like a bedazzled gauntlet at that point.
And the chaos emeralds just for good measure. Like,
Yeah.
That is
oh
awesome.
man.
We're gonna
And shout out to
Will we get in trouble for that one?
You know what?
We probably listen, Chris. At this point, we'll get in trouble for everything.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine because we said something about Ben Shapiro being defeated, so people will go, "Yeah, haha, we wish." You know, I feel like that'll be okay.
Shout out to our good friend Hunter Lazardi for giving us letting us borrow his equipment for this wonderful interview that we're doing for Chris C over here.
Oh yeah, using folks' government names.
Wait, what name should I?
No, I don't know. I was like, well, he might have a rap name like Young Stunner, like Captain Lot of Meat. I don't know.
He's the Velociraptor.
That
should be the name of the podcast.
The Velociraptor.
Velociraptor podcast.
That's probably trademarked.
Don't remind me. Let's not go there, fellas. Let's not go.
We've already had our fair share of trademarked ideas.
But plus, what would we be like if we had a podcast called the Velociraptor podcast, but didn't do anything about rap? That'd be weird.
Right. People are gonna watch every episode looking for like the dinosaur.
True. Yeah. Look, okay. Where's the dinosaur?
And where's the rap?
Where's the bars?
Right. Guys, this is dumb. Like, it's like going to a place that's called the home of fish and chips, and they only do salads. Like, why would you expect?
They have like one fish. It's like in the background, in the back corner of the restaurant. Like there's a stone just shaped like a fish. Even it's not even a fish.
Not even a real fish.
And a bag of chips just like stapled to the wall.
But someone opened the bag upside down, so it's like blown out. So there's no chips in the bag.
It's just a bag.
Right. It's just a disappointment.
Right. It turns out the guys that made the place, it was like Jeremiah Fish and a guy who they used to call Chips. Like, so yeah, you talking about Charles Chips? Yeah, Chips. That's my guy. Like
Charlie Chips.
Yo, it's crazy how like old we're getting in regards to like friendship wise.
And the slow creep of death just advances.
Well, no, I didn't want to take it that far. I was just saying the longevity of friends, how long we've been friends.
Dude, that's actually true because we have been friends. Holy crap! Wait a minute. No, about the same amount of time. Because No. Oh my goodness. What? So sophomore year is when Giancarlo and I think were cool,
right?
Because you had a omnipresent hand, and I guess your first girlfriend meeting. Because I remember you had said, "Oh yeah, no, I did that. Like I put that together." A lot of other people said the same thing, but then because I remember
everyone taking credit.
Everybody likes to take the credit.
Everyone loves to take credit for your traumas. Why would y'all do such a thing?
Well, Hannibal and I have been friends for 10 years now.
Yeah.
A whole decade, yeah.
Junior year.
Yep.
You know, like, because I'm pretty sure I haven't got into it in here, but like, I lived in Arizona before I came here for my freshman year of high school, and my sophomore year, it was like summer between my sophomore and junior year. It was really tough because I was trying to decide what I'm gonna do, like,
right?
Because I had the opportunity to move back to Arizona with my mom or stay here, and it was a long, arduous process for me to really decide. But I ended up deciding to stay here, and what was like really cool was that next year is when we did. Hold on, Hannibal. You can do it. It was. Complete History of America Abridged for the play when we were in high school.
Mm-hmm. Which, for the record, was like probably the one show we did that really tanked.
Right. That was the only oh, dude, I still to this day remember people constantly walking through the hallways. Because I did Obama for that show because he was relevant back then. And so I could do a good Obama accent.
He was also like one of the few people of color who was black in our theater.
Right. And so, So it was just funny because people would literally tell me, "Oh, yo, Hannibal, that show sucked, but you were good." Like,
but your Obama impression,
dude. Like I'm supposed to like that. Like I'm supposed to be happy about that. You tell me, "Oh yeah, man, the rest of your people suck ass, but you got it." I hated that, but that was the play where you and I became friends.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy, man. I just think about that all the time.
Junior year of high school.
like going to high school and all that.
Yeah. When did you? Now you left my junior year, right?
I stayed there because
Move closer to the mic.
Oh, got it. Yeah, yeah.
remember when the school initially started? I had it was like the middle school / high school.
Right.
So I was there for 8th grade. I was the first batch of 8th graders.
I had seen you back in high school, but I didn't know you in high school.
Right.
And then you like
my
made your
goodness.
grand return, and it was like a big deal. But I was already gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had left for college and stuff, and then like everyone's like, John Carlo's coming back. I'm like, I think I know that guy.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Dude.
But yeah, I stayed there. I stayed in Laguna until 9th grade, and then by that summer, I left.
Okay.
I had left.
That's wild.
Because it was just before I got to know you. Like
Yep.
if I had already known you, I would have known him.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
And then I came back with a vengeance.
Dude. Huge vignettes. Vignettes.
Vignettes. I like that.
Vignettes.
I came here with vignettes.
Came back with a vignette.
Which is very bougie. Lots of people can come with, oh yeah, I'm gonna skydive out of a building. No, I'm going to have a bunch of children play me returning.
But it's still about revenge.
still about revenge.
Right.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, dude. And I think about that a lot too, man. How long we've been friends.
Mm-hmm.
How long we've been rolling together.
It's been
getting in
crazy.
Trouble. It's cool.
Man, we didn't get in trouble.
No, we definitely did.
No, we were too good.
The closest we got to trouble was like the one time we got kicked out of the mall because we were trying to shoot a parkour video, which wasn't even real parkour.
Oh no, yeah, because it was in the.
We jumped
era-
over like a wet floor sign and like pretended to kick jump off of a vending machine.
Yeah,
And they're like, "This is private property. You need to leave." I was like, "Okay, we left."
dude. My favorite.
There was no fight.
what?
There was no resistance.
However, dude,
We walked very quickly out of the mall.
because what happened? Which first of all, that day is you know how you guys have that.
Okay, we kind of did it to psych him out a little
Oh,
bit.
we totally did. And what happened? You guys know how like you got them things that you're just gonna remember till the day you die. They're like totally unimportant, but they're gonna constantly eat away at your ego
Right.
and remind you that you're not but a feeble-minded.
He wore a
sack of human
fake
flesh.
afro.
Wore a fake afro because back in the day, your boy wasn't on the game. But it's my least favorite thing from that day. We're fake parkouring. I go in the mall. And I can't even describe to you because they were like, yo, handle. I went, all right, parkour. I turned like this. And there's a full-grown black woman just there. And I fully turned and into this woman's whole body. It was literally like, here I was looking this way. So I didn't see her. I just full. Dude, I turned so hard. My leg came up. I was like, what the heck is this thing? And this whole person, man, for that whole day, I was on my best
A
thing.
whole person.
Dude, a whole person. And this lady was so mad. But then what happened was a security because they had nothing.
Maybe that was it. She was the one.
She-
She was the one who ratted us out.
Right. And when they make the Netflix series of our lives and our backstories,
She's gonna be the hidden villain.
she's going to be, the hidden villain who's. So what happened was we,
Security came up. I
Yeah.
mean, we weren't even doing anything really, but I remember like school was out that day, but it was
Yep.
a weekday. So he was like, "What are you kids doing here?" And like, "We don't have school." And then he was like very suspicious of the whole situation, which is like understandable. But I guess that meant we had to leave the mall. So yeah, and there was no fight to it. That was
No.
like that's the part that was like, yeah, we're losers. Like we just
Totally.
left.
Like, I don't do it was.
Well, we went to the food court.
We went to the food court
And then
ate.
we ate and then rapidly got up at the same time and walked single file out of the mall because that would be funny.
Right. What we did was 'cause
Haha.
we saw
Like-
we realized that
There's the punchline.
we realized that security was like watching us, and they were way too into it. They were like, "Oh yeah, we got an eye on them."
Yeah,
and
like
so,
we were gonna like pull a flash mob or something like that.
So what we decided was we were like, "Oh guys, let's leave real fast."
Because that that would
Dude, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we left with gusto just to scare them, and so they're literally going, "They're on the move! They're on the move!"
right. They're like the thin line of defense for this mall.
I'm done. I'm so
Who else
done.
is going to defend our free samples? I'm willing to die for this.
I don't think they were.
Oh, not at all. Not with how much they're getting
No, but
paid.
We got outside and the security guard like escorted us out, and there's an actual police officer there, and the security guard explains the situation. The police officer looks at the guard, looks at us, the guard leaves, and the officer just says, "You guys are fine. Just leave him alone and just go ahead." Like, there was nothing. That's the closest I think we ever got to trouble in our lives.
Dude, period, dude. We're good boys. That's what it is.
Good noodles.
Right.
Yeah, good eggs.
I'm a good noodle. Yeah.
The Good Noodle Podcast.
Oh,
Ew.
that's got to be taken. And also sounds, again, people are going to come here like with their gags and going, this isn't what I expected.
These aren't noodles. These are men.
Back to Reddit with me. Like,
It's like the most literal named podcast ever. Like two guys on a sofa. No, that doesn't work. Two.
okay, hold on, wait a minute.
Shooting the Shits Podcast.
Hold on, wait a minute. No, this is going to sound like it's porn. I was going to say like bros on the sofa, so we call it the brofa, but that just...
We're just going to forget that whole train of thought.
We're going to forget that whole
I'm
train.
actually going to edit that part out.
Edit that part out, yeah. Edit that part out. Dang it. I really thought I had something. Okay. Man, dude.
Yeah, just literal named podcast.
Chris, if you...
Two men
this
sitting
was,
quarter turn
Right.
as they face the camera.
Right.
Chris, if this was your podcast, what would you name it?
You assume I would have a podcast. You assume I have the time for a podcast. I don't know. I think it depends on what I'm talking about. I feel like a podcast.
Follow-up question. What would you talk about?
I got a phone call. What would we talk? I already assumed that he's going to be involved.
He's already assuming we're all in the podcast.
Right.
That was the absolute nicest thing you could have done.
I'm flattered.
Okay.
I'm
That
flattered.
touched the hell out of me.
Okay.
That I went too far with that. That sounded nasty. But anyway, yeah. Because the one thing I think about is that, and I wanted to do this while we had you, but I should have thought.
I feel like talking about deeper topics. I just completely interrupted. I feel like deeper topics is like worth the time.
Oh, I feel like too. Yeah, yeah. Oh, while we're here right now, deeper topics.
Well, I just feel like in general.
Oh yeah.
No, I asked him what type of podcast would you talk about?
Oh, deeper topics. Yeah.
He said deeper topic.
Yeah, I feel like it's just easier that way.
Yeah.
Like, or I feel like I get more like mileage on the investment that way, because I've always wanted to talk about like more like engaging, more intellectual like topics on a platform, but it feels weird when you don't do it with other people, you know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Then it's
Yeah,
kind of just
totally.
like
Feels super
I'm
weird.
just like recording my notes into a voice memo and posting it at that point, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, just get an OnlyFans. Like
What's that?
I said, just get an OnlyFans.
I don't think Chris even knows what that is, bro. He's too good.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, I really don't. But
That's
Exactly my point.
point proven.
Exactly my point.
But I feel like, having a space to like share like deeper conversations, which is something that we've definitely done. Like
Too many of those sessions we've all done with Chris.
probably.
Yeah.
I don't have anywhere to go from there. He's just right.
Yeah.
There's no return. There's no volley. Like,
Right. Because I think that too. Plus, for me, because because of our senses of humor, I also think that it's like you can find, and this has always been like my goal with stuff is being able to talk about things that are in depth and engaging. I really like that word, but it's like you take things that are really engaging and still be able to have fun at the same time.
Right.
Whether it's, I don't know if it really works the opposite way. We're like, yeah, we're all focused on goofy and whatever, and then things get insightful. Because I always want to have that balance. Like, yeah, we have fun, we get all goofy, but we have a lot of moments that are really insightful. And you
Right.
go, wow, this is fun.
Right.
This is fun.
Yeah, I think the trouble is it's like, especially when like something like a podcast, it's like you're competing for people's time and attention. And if you don't have something that's like funny and entertaining, then people are going to be like, yeah, I've got another
Other things
podcast.
too.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like it's hard to like get people's attention long enough that you can really like dive into the deeper things. But I think people look for that depth. So
They do.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here with the boy Chris Cammarata. So, Chris, What makes an honest person?
I froze up too. I was like, yes, this is a show. Oh, wait, no, I'm in it.
I like that actually one.
That was funny.
But yeah, Chris, what makes an honest person?
Clears throat. Takes a sip.
Yo, that's how you know it's about to be a banger.
Yeah, I mean, since we're talking about like the kind of the deeper, like deeper sorts of questions, and I think when we're using the word honest, like we're in general, like we're talking about a person who, like their words, their actions, like they all like correlate with each other. They're all like in sync with each other. I think it's kind of like close in a lot of ways to, like when we say something sincere or genuine or authentic, like we can see that there's no gap between the person's words and actions. And I got a burp. Excuse me. But I think that like there's kind of what happens is like genuineness doesn't take it far enough, because like when we say that a person's genuine or authentic, we're saying that like there's like what they say and what they do are in sync with themselves. But like to really be an honest person, I think it's like you're somebody who's living according to what's true. And I think that's where like it's hard to have a conversation. Yeah, like it's hard to have a conversation about like what honesty really means, because like
It's a perspective thing.
Well, I think people try and like keep it as a perspective thing. Like, but I think we have to think a little bit bigger than just my individual point of view, because like you can be genuine and sincere like when you're talking about your own values, but like that doesn't mean that your values are according to what's true, and that goes beyond yourself. And I think that's the problem, like because we are very much in a time and culture and place where people really want to be the one who sets their own standards for their life. And that's very easy in our society, like especially in America, where like we're very individually driven. Everyone has like a right to set their own terms for like what's right, what's wrong, like what's valuable. But I think the problem is that when that's all that it ends up being in the end, then how can you even really say that anybody's being honest? Because to say someone's honest, it's like you have to actually know that what they're saying matches with what's true, and like what they're doing matches with what's true. It's like I've seen the truth, I like have grasped it, I've internalized it, and I act accordingly. Like I think that's what makes an honest person. But you can't really judge somebody that way, for better or for worse, like unless you actually like have a certain standard of like this is what's true and this is what's good, and like this is like a way that people should live, and these are like objectively like good values that we should live by. And I don't think that we're like harming people by saying that those things exist,
Right.
but that's the problem, is like people have such a hard time like really talking about what those values are.
And I think and it sounds like that might be because people are really kind of like again, the difference about being genuine and being honest is that the perspective isn't just yours, your own. And a lot of times people are kind of like, I think people argue or disagree about how they want to live their lives, but then it isn't really that they're the standards they're trying to go by are those true things. You know what I mean? I guess what I'm trying to say is like, because there's a lot of people who think they're honest, but that's because they like the standards they're going off of. So they're like, yeah, people should do this, people should do that. But are those things legitimately true that you're chasing? And in order to seek honesty, you have to step outside of yourself.
Yeah,
Like
true
I
and
guess,
good.
and I guess going back to when you asked me, why are you asking me that question? I think it's because, and it's gonna go, not to be vulgar, but like I think a lot of like when sociopaths and serial killers do what they do, they in their mind think that they're honest people because they're doing honest work.
Right. That's like that genuineness
The
thing,
difference
right?
between
It's like,
genuine and
like
honest.
according to their own standard, they're genuine, but like that doesn't necessarily make them good, honest people.
Right.
And that's the problem. When you take away any potential for like setting an objective standard, then like then you get that sort of thing. Like, and like I think like the simplest way to define truth, I mean, if you want to dress it up in fancy language, like I think the easiest way to define it is like correspondence with reality. But if you want to put it in like simple words, I think like truth is what is. Like
It is what it is.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It'd be like that.
What it is.
It'd be like that.
As the ancient Plato had once said, it be like that sometimes.
It is what it is. No, but like truth, I think, is simply like when we see reality in front of us, we're able to internalize reality, we abstract it into our mind, and then we express it in a certain way, either in a thought or externally in a word or an action. Like that is truth. Like that is like truth being communicated. It means that like I've grasped reality as it really is. And like when we don't grasp reality as it really is, then we definitely don't say that the person's grasped the truth. We're saying that they're either living in a fantasy or they're living in a lie. So if you don't know any truth outside of yourself, then like you might have a good understanding of yourself, but like that doesn't necessarily mean you have a good understanding of reality. And so like, okay, you can be genuine according to the values you've set for yourself, but it's going to end there. So like if there's no conversation about like what is like, you know, what is the world really about? What is life really about? What does it mean to be truly human in a universal sense of things, not just my own personal spin on it? Then like it becomes very hard to say this person's good, this person's honest. Like because it's going to be reduced down to the level of your relative, subjective, personal, individual experience, and that's it. You won't be able to like go beyond that. So I think that's where it's hard to say like it's becoming harder and harder to say that this is an honest person. Like we might admire it, but like it's almost like we're afraid to like go too far and say like they're very truthful and honest.
To speak it into existence, because you're open to that possibility that you could be wrong. You know?
I guess so, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's where like discourse really becomes hard, right? So like people don't want to have discourse, they want to have arguments.
Right. And I think that's one of the things with like that term identity politics was really weird to me when I first like heard it because I didn't get it. But then I guess to me, the way that I've internalized it or that I've kind of developed understanding is that it's like when your political ideas and stuff are related to who you are. And that made me, that to me, I was like, okay, so now it makes sense why people, like there's certain disagreements people can have where they argue and it's not that big of a deal, you know, and we can disagree on what's our favorite show. But then there's certain things where it's like, if we're like people have to really fight to the grave on certain things they believe because those things it's an identity politics issue. So it's like, if I'm wrong about this, whatever those issues are, dancing around to keep us from getting canceled or you know, whatever. But it's like on those certain issues, it's like, if I'm wrong about this, then I'm wrong about me because I've built my character around this thing.
Right.
So
And that's
I
uncomfortable for us.
That's uncomfortable and not really good. Oh, you're talking about challenging what it is we believe?
Well, because the thing, like, I think that, like, what you're saying hits on an uncomfortable truth that, like, we really don't fully know and understand who we are. And, like, and this is why we have entire fields like mental health, among other things, because, like, people don't have a firm grasp of who they are all the time. We live in false images of who we are and false images of ourselves. And, like, so there's certain times and opportunities and places where I can like make genuine statements about like this is who I am and this is my needs and my beliefs and all these sorts of things. But I think the problem becomes when even if it's for a good cause, like even whether it's genuinely good or just seems to be good or whatever, even when it's done in the name of a good cause, I can end up pushing so hard for this identity of mine when I don't even really fully know or understand myself. And, like, what ends up happening is my identity gets reduced to the cause. Like, imagine if, like, I mean, and it's easier with more, like, kind of clear-cut things like race. But, like, when you get into more, like, subjective experiences of identity and stuff like that, like, for instance, like, people with disability or, you know, anything in that category, then it's kind of like, it's like I'm still discovering myself. I'm still discovering what it means to be me. And if I put my whole identity into the identity politics and that sort of thing, then like I lose the beauty of who I am because I've basically cut myself down to the level of like that identity politics and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that those like conversations don't have a place, but like it's easy in those kinds of like really like charged, aggressive sorts of politics to just completely lose sight of like the beauty of every individual person, even though they're like some of these campaigns are trying to actually fight for the beauty like supposedly of these individual people. Like it actually just gets totally lost, like because people don't get the opportunity to really like discover themselves. Like who you are is basically reduced to like your usefulness to the cause. And
Wow.
yeah, I think like it doesn't mean that like we can't have or shouldn't have the hard conversations, but like, you know, there's like a genuine journey of self-discovery that a lot of people miss. And like for instance, like there's a lot of, and I don't want to like go deep into like all the different social issues and stuff like that, but like people who struggle with mental health, people who struggle with physical health, like it's like, yeah, we want to love and affirm people who are like mentally struggling, who are like physically struggling in some way, right? But then if it only just become like, if their whole life then just becomes about like, let me like fit my whole life into this like fight for the cause, right? Then like there's so many other facets to a person than the fact that they have depression or the fact that
right.
You know, they might like be overweight or something like that, right? Whatever it might be. And it doesn't mean that like those things aren't legitimate, but the problem is like those kinds of politics, and I think politics in our country in general, there's like such an aggressive current to it, even when it's done in like the name of something really good. And like I don't think we know as people like in America specifically what it means to really take a step back from politics and try and live a life that's not political. Not so that we can like completely disengage and never think about it again, but just to have like the space to like discover ourselves and stuff like that.
Right.
Like you're more useful than just like what you contribute to like the social well-being.
A political party.
Yeah. Yeah. And like everyone wants to turn it into a political game, right? Like, so, you know, as people, I think we're so much more than those labels and those causes and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean that labels and causes aren't useful. It's just, you're more than that. Like, we're more than that as people. And so I think like, even to just tie it back to what we're saying before, like they'll talk about like honesty and genuineness and like what makes a person good and all that. Like how can I put it? Like there's more to people than like their views. And like that's how we're so used to talking about people and talking to people. But like to really get the time to get to know a person, or even just to get to know yourself, like, and discover like all those uncomfortable truths about me, like that takes time, it takes clarity, it takes kind of pulling back.
It takes comfort. And you have to be comfortable to receive whatever.
Yeah, and the truth is that most of us have something or other about ourselves that makes us uncomfortable.
Right.